Would everyone please rise for the national anthem?
Welcome to the Bow High School 2012 commencement ceremony. Thank you, school board members, Dr. Cascadin, Mr. Housemeyers, administrators, teachers, and faculty, class advisors, Mrs. Matola and Mrs. Coe, friends, family, and community members. We are so happy that you're here to join us today. But most importantly, welcome to my fellow graduates, the Bow High School class of 2012. We've all heard it before, the saying that high school is the best time of your life. This may be because high school is often the place where you meet your best friend, challenge yourself academically, or win that state championship. Or in our case, you win 21. Although I agree that all of these things are both memorable and important, I think the best time of our lives is yet to come. I believe that when we return for our 10-year reunion, each one of us will have greater experiences and accomplishments because of the foundation that we had here in Bow. John F. Kennedy once said, "To whom much is given, much is expected." Well, we have been given one of the best educations in the world. Each one of us is equipped to be successful in the next phase of our lives, be it college, serving in the armed forces, or entering the workforce. Because we have been given so much, it is now our responsibility to go out into the world and to do our best. However, we also know that we didn't get here alone. So thank you to our families for everything you've done for us. Thank you for the years of diaper changing, the help on our homework, cheering at our sports games and recitals, and being the first brave souls to try our World's Fair cuisine. But most of all, thank you for being here today so that we can celebrate this moment together. Thank you to teachers and staff of the Bow community. From bedtime in Bow to Ferry Beach to chaperoning our intercessions and prom, you have all been so supportive of our endeavors. You have helped shape us into the successful young adults that you see before you. In class of 2012, today is a day to celebrate all that we have accomplished. But now let's take a moment and breathe and ponder the future. Where do you want to be 10 years from now? What will you bring back to our 10-year reunion? Will you be an astronaut, an Olympian, a doctor, a teacher, or a parent? Each of us gets to decide what the future holds for us. Set high goals and work toward them. Make yourselves and those who have helped you proud. Congratulations, class of 2012, we did it.
Thanks, Carolyn. It is my great privilege and honor to also welcome you to the Bow High School class of 2012 graduation ceremony. Welcome members of the Bow School Board, Superintendent of Bow Schools, Dr. Dean Cascadden, parents and family, teachers and staff, distinguished guests, and the honored class of 2012. I would like to begin by recognizing those whose hard work and caring dedication have made this day possible. Thank you, class advisors Jackie Coe and Lucy Matola, Martha Ray, Colleen DeRusso and the guidance department, Tom Clapworth's facility crew, our main office staff, and my fellow administrators. Thank you, Ms. Michelle Jakes and our Bow High School band, and Mr. Paul Bourgelet and our chorus students for filling the gymnasium this morning with your joyful music. Thank you, Bow Pops, Bow Falcon Boosters, and Bow PTO for your ongoing support and involvement. Thank you, Bow High School faculty members here today, as well as teachers, coaches, and support staff from throughout the entire Bow School District, whose care and dedication over the last 12 years have helped to shape the lives of each and every member of the class of 2012. And most of all, thank you to Bow parents and families for your support, your involvement, and your advocacy for your kids. Your partnership is the cornerstone of our continued success. Let me tell you a little bit about this extraordinary class of 117 students. In just a few short months, and it'll go fast, 99 members of the graduating class of 2012 will be attending a 2- or 4-year college or university, and 4 graduating students are currently enrolled in continuing education classes. During their 4 years here, the members of the class of 2012 completed 6,084 total community service hours, as well as more than 2,000 additional senior seminar hours of community involvement. That's impressive and much appreciated. I don't think there's any need for me to remind the class of 2012 about the value of giving back to your community, for clearly you've demonstrated that through your actions. I would also like to point out that during the last 4 years, 33 Classical All-State Music Awards have been distributed to this senior class to music students in band, orchestra, and chorus, and 9 students have been awarded Jazz All-State recognition. I think I already mentioned that this was an extraordinary graduating class. Finally, another impressive statistic that Carolyn has already told you about is that we've had 21 banners go up here in the last 4 years that you've been involved with, starting with Nordic skiing when you were freshmen and ending with this spring's Boys Track and Field Championship. All right. Additionally, several of our student athletes earned an additional 11 individual state championship honors, most recently this spring. Extraordinary indeed. But the page turns today as we honor the class of 2012 and look to the future. What has now become a tradition during graduation is to recognize and honor those students who will be entering military service very soon. Please join me in honoring these students here today. Students, please rise when I call your name. Mitchell Boyd, United States Merchant Marine Academy. Casey Fessenden, United States Army. Cody MacGregor, United States Marines. Michael Penny, United States Navy. Christian Robinson, United States Marines. Andrew Sackett, United States Air Force, ROTC. Jonathan Vindenberg, United States West Point Military Academy. Good luck to you all. Godspeed. We are proud of you. We are grateful for your service to your country, and we will pray for your safe return. Finally, just a quick message. And I have to give a little nod to Nick Lolka for this one, little inspiration. We've got some fantastic speakers lined up today, in addition to Carolyn. I recently had the opportunity to meet with a young music teacher, and I asked him how he prepared for performances. In response, he paraphrased what the great 20th century Russian-born and legendary American pianist and composer Vladimir Horowitz had said. Well, I practice every day for 12 hours, every day. And the night of the performance, I practice 4 more hours. I think his message makes as much sense now as it did in the past century. We are never done, and we are always improving. We all have to be lifelong learners. Work hard and keep at it. Keep that in mind as you navigate the many challenges that lie ahead. And I am confident that you will be successful throughout your lives. To the class of 2012, I wish you great health, wealth, and happiness. Thank you.
When I was asked about addressing the Bow High School class of 2012 at graduation, the only acceptable response was obvious. Absolutely, I would love to. Then the reality set in that it was going to require the writing of a speech, which for me meant quite literally tens of hours of deliberation regarding the overarching message and how to deliver it between then and today. Well into the process, I recalled the speech that I gave to the class of 2008, and it crossed my mind that perhaps I could rationalize resurrecting that speech with a few tweaks and be successful. The irony of my situation became very clear to me. By recycling the old speech, I would be falling into the identical trap that I was hoping to encourage the class of 2012 and the assembled audience to avoid. I would be settling for something that was good enough, which would inherently preclude the possibility of it being great. In order to have a chance of delivering a message worthy of our fledgling falcons and provide them with something to contemplate as they fluff and preen their feathers, preparing to soar beyond the confines of their bow nest, I would need to take some risks. Take a good long look into the potential abyss of failure. Pull back from my wheelhouse at the intersection of physics and philosophy, which every student who has had me has likely received more than the recommended dose, and devote myself to the goal of convincing the class of 2012 that the greatest successes in life come from the active and constructive pursuit of worthy causes, whereby your position on the ladder of success becomes completely irrelevant to you as you commit yourself to the task at hand. President Theodore Roosevelt put it best when he said, "The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself for a worthy cause, and who, at the best, knows the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, fails while daring greatly. So his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat." Victory and defeat, as I interpret President Roosevelt's remarks, are nothing more than fleeting sensations that accompany the pursuit of worthy causes. This is not to say that they're not important. Indeed, both are necessary aspects of success. What matters most is that we use what we learn from our triumphs and our failures to build confidence, our ability, and indeed our desire to face the challenges of tomorrow. On a related vein, President Roosevelt is known to have said, "In any moment of decision, the best thing to do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing. And the worst thing to do is nothing at all." Analyze the situation carefully. Make a decision and act in a constructive manner. Don't let life happen to you. Let your decisions be interwoven into the fabric of life's experiences for you and those around you. In a speech that Roosevelt gave a few years after leaving office, he said, "I don't think any president ever enjoyed himself more than I did. Moreover, I don't think any ex-president ever enjoyed himself more." Success, the real success, does not depend upon the position you hold, but upon how you carry yourself in that position. With these remarks, we discover Roosevelt's level of comfort with his post-presidency experience. And he reminds us that it is not the awards and accolades each of us have collected that defines us, but our character and confidence, which have been shaped by the associated endeavors. These are the hallmarks of our ability to face the challenges of tomorrow. In closing, I'd like to share with you components of a writing entitled "The Carpenter's House" from an unknown author and some final thoughts. An elderly carpenter was ready to retire. He told his employing contractor of his plans to leave the construction business and to live a more leisurely life with his wife and enjoy more time with his extended family. The contractor was sorry to see his best employer go, and he asked if he would build just one more house as a personal favor. The carpenter said yes, but in time, it was easy to see that his heart was not in it. It was a sad way to end his career. When the house was finished, the contractor came to inspect it. He handed the keys to the front door to the carpenter and said, "This is your house. It is my gift to you." The carpenter was shocked. If he had only known he was building his own house, he would have done it all so differently. Now he had to live in the house he had built with shoddy workmanship and inferior materials. So it could be with us. If we build our lives in a distracted way, reacting rather than acting, willing to put forth less than our best effort, we should not be surprised to find that we are living in a house that falls far short of our hopes and dreams. Graduating class of 2012, Think of yourselves as carpenters, arriving for your first day on the job site of life. The material to begin the job is stacked in neat piles. You have the necessary tools. It's time to roll up your sleeves and begin building. Thoughtfully lay your foundation. Each day you hammer a nail, place a board, or erect a wall. Do so with dignity and a sense of purpose. There's always more work to do. Celebrate that work. Do not settle for good enough. Always strive for a personal best. Aim for great.
So she took her love for to gaze awhile upon the fields of barley.
In his arms she fell as her hair came down among the fields of gold. Will you stay with me? Will you be my love among the fields of barley? We'll forget the sun in his jealous sky as we lie in fields of gold. I never make promises lightly, and there have been some that I've broken. I swear in the days still left, we will walk in fields of gold. We will walk in fields of gold. Many years have passed since those summer days among the fields of barley. See the children run as the sun goes down among the fields of gold. I never make promises lightly, and there have been some that I've broken. I swear in the days still left, we will walk in fields of gold. We will walk in fields of gold. You'll remember me when the west wind moves among the fields of barley.
You can tell the sun in his jealous sky.
As we walk in fields of gold, as we walk in fields of gold, walked in fields of gold.
Good morning, faculty, family, friends, and fellow graduates of the graduating class of 2012. My name is Chelsea Bailey, and it's an honor to be standing before you all today. I'd like to extend my deepest gratitude for this opportunity to speak. When the interview committee asked me why I wanted to give a speech at graduation, I answered them with the plain and simple truth, that there was something I needed to hear before I graduated, and that I couldn't be the only one. It begins with a story told by my dad. You know the kind. It's that story that comes up frequently enough that every member of the family can recite it line by line. In this particular case, it's the story of the first time he set foot on Berkeley's campus. My dad grew up in the South, in a very conservative, religious family, but his passion for music led him 1,083 miles north to Berkeley College. He didn't see Berkeley in person until his parents dropped him off first semester. And as you can imagine, it was quite the culture shock. It was their first time experiencing Boston traffic and their first time seeing bums on the street. They found it all a little overwhelming. So it's with no surprise that when they reached my father's dorm room and found the door not firmly attached by its hinges, but simply leaning nearby against a wall, that my grandmother started sobbing. Now, I'm sure that this story has been exaggerated over the years. With each retelling, the traffic gets busier, the bums get scarier, and the door slowly drifts further and further away from the immense hole it left in the wall. But at its core, this story is something we can all relate to. Of course, I hope we all find fully functioning doors on our dorms, our barracks, our apartments, or our bedrooms. But beyond that, I can guarantee little else. We may complain about having been stuck in this suburb for most of our lives, but there is one thing it does offer us: certainty. You know the fastest way to get to the school from your house and what time you need to arrive to guarantee a spot in first. You know that the Irving always has the lowest prices, and that you're guaranteed to see at least one other person you know anytime you show up there. Our futures do not yet offer us this same certainty. Whether you've chosen to go to college, take a few years to figure things out, or even enlist in the military, we're all in line for at least a little culture shock. When we start our post-high school lives, we start with a clean slate and endless opportunities. Now is our chance to be whomever we want and do whatever we want. I know that there are members in this graduating class who have known what they've wanted to do since the day they were born. But there is nothing wrong with keeping yourself open to new possibilities. My dad went to Berkeley because music was the only thing he'd ever loved. The job he's held for the last 20 years didn't even exist yet. Computers were still these huge hunks of practically useless metal that took up whole rooms when our parents went to college. Who could have imagined where we are now with phones that talk back to us and computing systems that are only a few square millimeters in area? We are the generation that has seen the rise and fall of a dozen social networks and the development of a culture centered around iPads and iPhones. If our experiences as the generation of technology have taught us anything, it's to expect the unexpected. We can only go forward with this same mentality, to expect the unexpected. After all, we are a generation that cannot be groomed into specific career fields. Statistics say that we each could have 10 to 14 jobs by the age of 38, half of which might not exist yet. The more I think about it, the more I find it to be simultaneously terrifying and beautiful that we are entering a world so full of endless possibilities. When I was down to the wire, deciding between which of two colleges to mail my deposit into, my parents sat down and told me what I'm sharing with you now. They said, "Don't be frugal while you are still young. Don't be afraid to risk it all while you are at this age and can still afford to do so." If you remember one thing from this speech, remember that. So now I come back to this thing about doors. It's a fascination, I guess. You can ask Miss Power, and she'll vouch for the fact that she and I could spend hours just discussing doors. And we have. But out of all the doors in the world, my mind keeps coming back to the set at the very front of this high school. Over the last 4 years, we have used those doors thousands of times, sprinting out of them to surprise our senior soak targets, holding them open for a friend carrying the oddest-looking World's Fair dish, trudging through them dressed in our best, but fearing the worst outcome for our sophomore debates, and even crowding around them that very first day freshman year like a lost herd of sheep. For many of us, today may be the very last day you walk through that set of doors. So all I ask of you is this: when you walk through them, friends and family in tow, diploma in hand, take a second to think about all the journeys that began by passing through that set of doors, and go forward, ready to find new doors, doors meant only for you, doors that will lead you to bigger and better journeys. Step through those doors with the knowledge that you are ready to face the unknown. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Clayton Karen. You can follow me on Twitter at ClaytonCKaren. But we're here for them. We're here for them. Good morning, and welcome to all family, friends, and distinguished guests. And congratulations to the class of 2012. We made it. We made it through the good and the bad and the weird. We endured the second grade square dance, the Lewis and Clark play, Greek week, Viking feast, Ferry Beach, and Sergeant's camp. We survived dreaded freshman humanities and found out it really wasn't that bad. We learned out how to spread out a large amount of work over a long period of time with our sophomore projects, and we stayed up till 2 working on our World's Fair projects until they were perfect. And finally, we did all the work necessary to finish senior seminar. And to think, that was only 12 years. 12 years we thought would never pass, and yet here we are ready to face the world. Ready to take on all the challenges that the world could possibly throw our way. Challenges that we will look back on and realize made us who we are. and who we're going to be. It's time to tackle those challenges with the same drive and effort we tackled the challenges we faced here at Bow High School with. World-famous rapper Eminem once said, "A lot of truth is said in jest." Therefore, that's where I'll begin with some lessons I learned here at Bow High School. Number 1, always have a ride from courts. 2, Miss Matola, make friends with the librarians. 3, always check Moodle. 4, how to dance appropriately. 'You did it. 5, how to push yourself beyond your comfortable limits. 6, never put a cheesesteak in a toaster. 8, always bring money to a restaurant. And most importantly, the years go by awfully quickly. And because the years go by so fast, we don't stop to think about what made these past 12 years so special. It was the people. More than any project or assignment, it was the people we will remember. So for a second, bear with me here for a second, but stand up. Everybody stand up. Take a look around, find your classmates, and give the people that made this experience so important. Go ahead, go find them. Go find your classmates. Give those people some hugs. Come on, let's go. You're not too cool for this. All right, let's go. Get it together. Come on. Let's go. We don't have all day. Come on. Dylan Irish's dad's band plays at 5:45. Come on. My dad once told me, build a dream and chase it. Chase it even if you might fail. That doesn't seem very perplexing, does it? Well, for me, it was. I would ask myself time and time again, why? Why on earth would I chase something that would lead me to failure? Well, I have found in several pursuits that this chase, although it may lead to failure in the end, makes you stronger, and it also creates opportunities. For many years, my life has been centered around one thing, playing in the NHL. Well, here I am, and although ice hockey, I have achieved so much through it, including that 2010 state championship banner. I can look at you guys and tell you, I will never play in the NHL. However, ice hockey, and all the time I've dedicated to it, has been extraordinarily rewarding, and nothing can change that. I wouldn't trade my experiences playing hockey for anything in the entire world. But now, I must move on to new and different challenges and build a new dream. All of us will. For example, we have students going to acclaimed colleges and universities, but also others taking many other paths to success. We have incredible musicians like David Malazzo and Trevor Naughton, and singers like Lauren Percy and Chelsea Bailey. We have writers like Melissa Prue and future soldiers like Jonathan Vinterberg and Casey Fessenden. We have some of the funniest people I've ever met, like Nick Lolka and Andrew Champagne, whose wit and humor I'm convinced will make him the next Larry David. We have kind people like Lindsay LeClaire, who, no matter what, will give you a hello in the hallway. And we have those who serve others like Kirsten Gibbons, who has spent countless hours in the pursuits of community service. We have future politicians, and although I may not vote for her, Natalie Lavoie will make a great one. Not to mention male models like Jamie Cottonwar, who is just now figuring out there is more to life than being really, really ridiculously good looking. The class of 2012 is one of many talents and dreams, and we have to take our talents and make our dreams our reality. For example, let's take a look around at this gymnasium and find all the banners attributed to the class of 2012. Over the past 4 years, we have been responsible for an unprecedented number of state championships, both individual and team. But now, they're just banners on a wall, symbols of previous success. Now we have to make new banners and hang them on the walls of our lives. And for some of us, that could be scary, having to start over. I know it is for me. However, fear of what lies ahead cannot hold us back from achieving our dreams. Fear must not be what stands in the way of our future. Not only did my dad tell me to form a dream, but he told me without a plan, a dream is just a wish. We have to find what is going to make us successful and make it the center of our lives. Here we are today, sitting as a symbol of success, a symbol that we are ready to move on. But it's time to take the success we've had here at Bow High School and translate it to the real world. My dad was always right. Find a dream. Build it. Nurture it. Chase it. Find what makes you happy and drive toward it with everything you have. Because we only live this life once. Make it nasty, class of 2012.
Good morning. I am Dr. Dean Cascadden, Superintendent of Schools for SAU 67, and my task today is to certify this class for graduation. And on a technical level, the task is fairly easy. I just need to verify that our graduating seniors have adequately fulfilled the prescribed requirements. And Martha Ray has run around over the last few days making sure that that's happened, even at the 11th or 12th hour, 11th hour, 59th minute. They fulfilled all the requirements. However, I always pause at this time and ask the larger question. Has this class achieved the purposes of education that we set forth? And those purposes include honing the intellect and developing the character. But we also need to address the good and the true and the beautiful. And we need to make students good citizens and at the same time develop them into responsible workers. But we have to respect that free will and individual autonomy. As one writer stated, we need to teach the students how to think, not what to think. We need to be directive with our students, pointing them in the right directive, and responsive to their individual needs, desires, and abilities. And we have that paradoxical task of leading students to be free and independent thinking adults. And we have to instill in them justice, that laws apply to all equally, but also fairness. Treating people with different abilities the same is not always right. Such things are difficult to think about. So Friday, I went to the true source of wisdom, and I took a trip with the kindergarten class to the Beach Hill Farm to complete their plant lesson. So, with apologies to Robert Fulghum, who stated that all I really need to know I learned in kindergarten, here's what I learned on my kindergarten field trip. First of all, you guys look a lot different than they do. But I got on the big yellow bus, and they actually learned to line up and walk a little better than you do too, but that's okay. We put the seed in the ground, or they put the seed in the ground like a few weeks ago, and they watered it and they cared for it, and the seed grew up into this plant. It's kind of magical. Well, it is to kindergartners. The seed has what it needs to develop. You as individuals have what you need to develop. You are the seeds. In education, we can only nurture that seed. There was a famous saying in the North Country, you plant corn, you get corn. I'm not quite sure what that means, but So these plants need nurturing. They need soil and sun and water and food, but not too much sun and not too much water. And definitely if we put too much manure on it, it'll go bad. And we need to protect the plants. There are bad things out there. There are bugs and pests and things for them. We need to protect them, and that's what we do in education. And you know what else I learned on the kindergarten field trip? There are different types of plants, and it's okay. There are different types of seeds, and they grow up to different plants, and some grow up into beautiful flowers, and some grow up into vegetables. And they're all different, and they all have their own beauty, and they provide us with different things. But you know the big thing I learned on the kindergarten field trip? This is just a starter. And what the time comes, you need to pull the plant out of the starter and you need to repot it. Now look at that. How do I know this plant needs to be repotted? Because the roots are all pressed up against the side. The roots have grown strong. Well, we didn't see that. And it's holding on to the soil. And so you've been in Bow, and you've grown up in the nice, strong soil. And these people here and these people out there have nurtured you and given you water, and they've fretted over you and even prayed over you. But you know, you're root bound. It's time to go on. It's time to put you in a new pot, press a lot. You know, we're not going to knock off all that soil because Bow's going to go with you. We're going to put you in the new pot, put new soil around, and send you off. And you know what else I learned on the kindergarten field trip? That when that's done, it's time to wash your hands and eat ice cream. So I had 2 scoops of black raspberry chocolate chip at 10 o'clock in the morning. And it was really good. And I'm the last thing between you and ice cream. So let's get on with this. So I will now certify the class. On behalf of the faculty, administration, and staff of the Bow School District, and by the power vested in me as a superintendent of schools by the General Court of the State of New Hampshire and the elected school board of Bow, New Hampshire, I hereby certify that the members of this Bow High School class of 2012 have completed their high school experience, have demonstrated proficiency on the appropriate competencies, and have met all of the graduation requirements of the Bow School District and the state of New Hampshire. They are hereby entitled to all the rights, privileges, and honor of being graduates of Bow High School. Congratulations, class of 2012.
Okay, here we go. Hey, Gay, where is the sheet with the, there it is, okay, thank you. Okay. Carolyn Sawyer Keys. Natalie Rose Lavoie. Andrew Dustin Sackett. Kelly Ann Martin. Michael Frank Malanga. Melissa Denise Gleckler. Connor Joseph Hughes. Lauren Lee Percy. Hannah Leah Popovich. Zachary Philip Afshar. Zachary Tyler Albert. Brandon Charles Audette. Chelsea Lynn Bailey. Richard Carlton Bailey III. Austin Gregory Bacchus. Kevin Arthur Barker. Chad Michael Beauchesne. Matthew Michael Bemis. Jonathan Robinson Vinenberg. By the way, Jono is off to the New England Regional Track and Field Championships, where he is ranked #1 in New England, and he's running now. He's warming up because he is on his way. Corey R. Berman. Alexandra Danielle Bover. David John Boone. Renee Alexandria Bouchard. Mitchell Angel Boyd. Stephanie Ann Brewster. Jessalee Ray Brooks. Clayton Caldwell Karen. Andrew Thomas Champagne. Jillian McKenna Grace Chergy. Bradford Ryan Clark. Joseph A. Clifford. Jillian Sylvia Coburn. Angela Marie Conklin. Sarah Ellen Cormier. Jamie Raymond Cotnoir. Kaylee M. Kutu. David Michael Cummings. Casey Marie Curley. Griffin David Curtin. Zachary Hunter DeRico. Stephen Lauren Dio. Carissa Dion. Alexis Moriah Dowd. David Cameron Duncan. Kyle Suzanne Noonan Duval. Matthew Fairfield. Casey A. Fessenden. Derek B. Flores. Caitlin Samantha Flynn. Aaron David Forrest. Caroline A. Forrest. Felicia Marie Giannetti. Kirsten Elise Gibbons. Taylor A. Goss. Caitlin Elizabeth Griffin. Cody David Herrick. William David Hickey, Jr. Hey, Bill. Andrew Hollinger. Dylan M. Irish. Emily Rose Marcotte Jenkins. Robert S. Jenkins. Jasmine Taylor Johnson. Andrew Mark Jones. Hunter Marie Jordan. Grace Ellen Keene. Christopher Scott Nepper. Sean Osborne Kruger. Lindsay Marie LeClaire. Elizabeth Cornelia Lee. Audra Mary Elizabeth Lessard. Nicholas Frederick Lolka. Cody Richard MacGregor. William Bennett Malvey. Tyler Hunter Marshall Hall. Andrew Thomas Masters. Dana Lynn Mazurowski. Taylor Ann McCardle. Max Joseph McLean. David Allen Milazzo. Lee Thomas Waskin Miller. Brianna Sharon Montebianchi. Kyle Arthur Moore. Hannah Rose Morrison. Nicholas Eric Namey. Trevor James Naughton. Christina Mary Nevis. Joshua George Nemec. Amy Lee Nolan. Timothy Ryan Panella. Michael T. Penny. Mark Joseph Peroso. Melissa Joanne Prue. Dylan Andre Raboyne. Emily Gail Raish. Jackson William Rand. Brittany Elizabeth Wrights. Joshua Ian Roberts. Sarah Catherine Roberts. Brittany Robinson. Christian M. Robinson. Emily Anna Rosado. Madeline Kate Russo. Alexandra Michelle Sanford. Brianna J. Savolkin. Luca Sebastian Sprick. Connor Jacob St. Laurent. Christopher John St. Ange. Madeline Stewart. Jolynn Edna Tinkham. Shane Paul Tracy. Casey Lee Tucker. Julia Sashiko Uchida. Taylor Johnston Vogt. Alexander Matthew White. Morgan Workman.
Class of 2012, please join me in switching your tassel.